No, you can't. You can't ignore the evils of the world. You have to call them out.
I'm using my inspiring leader feature.
I don't know what to do here, lass. If you stay, I'm staying, but you can live.
Guys, I think it's time. The veil is open for us.
When we communed with your mighty shadow, we saw faces in the deep darkness, one of which was you.
And the point of contact with her eyes finally releases. Sit with me by the fire, and we will watch, and we will guide, and we will hope. Hello, this is the pilot episode of the project is called Re-D&D It. It's where I pull various items about D&D and tabletop RPGs off of the internet, smash them together, talk about them a little bit, and then give them all to you guys. If you guys are watching this, it means that I like this episode enough not to hit the delete button and walk away from this project and be like, nope. But no, you are seeing this, so it's obviously pretty good in my opinion. Hopefully there's more to come. If you follow, comment, subscribe, let me know what you like, if there's anything you want me to cover. Cool. For now, we're going to check out these stories. Right now we got one from two D&D subreddits. Second one is D&D Horror Stories, and the first one is dndnext. dndnext. Both awesome stories. Tell me if I hit the takes right, or if there's anything that you would add or take away from my reading of these stories. Cool, let's move on. First story. Hello all, this story is from the D&D subreddit dndnext. It's titled, My DM Lied to Us for His Own Advantage. And this poster wants to know, is that okay? Let's take a look. Hello all. I want to know if this is okay or if this is a weird thing to do. So I have been playing D&D with a group of friends. We are all new to the game except for the DM. I apologize in advance if I use any terms wrong. He is the one that is teaching us how to play. We've been playing for almost a year now and had no issues, but on the last session, something weird happened. We were fighting a rite, and one of our players fainted, and instead of having him roll death saving throws, the DM announced that he had become a spirit that was going to now fight for the enemy and against us. We were all shocked, especially my friend who died and now had to fight us. And we asked the DM how this dynamic worked. He explained that my friend didn't have to roll death saving throws and was basically safe, but that he was kind of like a ghost and mind controlled to fight us. We asked him above table if we could save him, and if using a healing spell would return him to his body and have him back to our side. Our DM said yes, that if we healed him, he would be back to his own body and normal. So we heal him, and lo and behold, he is still fighting for our enemies with more health than before. We ask our DM about it, and he says he lied to us because he wanted us to heal him, but that this doesn't really save him. We became indignant about this lie, and he said that as a DM, he just wanted it to be more interesting, and that he didn't owe us the truth. Is this correct? Can DMs just lie to their players about mechanics? Can DMs lie to their players about mechanics? They can, but they probably shouldn't. So consider this a breach of trust, right? They have trusted this DM for about a year, and then a really important event happens and he pulls the rug out from under them. Some things that we can know about this just from the post. they're playing in a horror setting. It says right, which is either in my mind a wraith or a wight, because both have the ability to take a dead player, a dead body, and convert them into something ghostly. If it's a ghost, we're probably looking at a wraith, which, to read its ability, it can create specter. Why they wouldn't roll death saves is its life drain ability. If the target is a creature, the hit point maximum is decreased by an amount equal to the damage taken. So if that reduces a character to 0, they're instantly dead. There is no death saving effect. Then they can create Spectre, where the Wraith targets a humanoid corpse within 10 feet of itself that has been dead for no longer than a minute. If the target spirit rises as a specter in the space of its corpse or in its nearest unoccupied space, the specter is under the Wraith's control, let's say the DM's control, and the Wraith can have no more than 7 specters under its control at one time. It sounds like they split that baby. It should give the DM an extra monster. It shouldn't necessarily force the player to become that monster and fight against the players, which was obviously not what they had signed up to do. It also kind of sounds like that they were expecting the PC to use their player sheet, which would also not be right, and healing spells wouldn't be able to give that specter more health. That should be one way that fizzled. The better way to handle this, because it's a legitimate thing that a PC can die, and some monsters, especially in horror settings, can make a dead character rise again as a monster. Skill checks. Arcana checks, nature checks, history checks, insight checks. There are a variety of ways to tell the players that you're probably not getting this thing back on side. So the DM can hide the mechanic until the time. They shouldn't lie to them, and the player should have a possibility to figure out what's going on. Because that never happened, this group feels betrayed, and after a year of playing together, they have mending to do. It's possible. It's a deep conversation they'll have to have, but it's certainly possible. If they've been playing together for this long and they enjoy each other's company, they should talk about it, work it out, find either a way to get that player character back or create a new character for that player and keep on with the campaign. Hopefully this doesn't derail the entire campaign or their group if they've been enjoying each other's company this whole time. That's that story. Here's on to the next.
But then again, every villain does think that they're on the path of good and righteousness.
This story is from the subreddit dndhorrorstories. It's titled, DM Kills My Companion in Session 1. I join a different group and that DM makes my character sleep with an NPC. Am I the weird one? Probably not. Probably not. Let's take a look and see the specifics. I joined a game DM'd by a Marine and his Marine friends. I was invited by my friend who is the wife of one of the Marines. I created a playful character with a silly story, a wood elf raised by gnomes, and was so rambunctious and clumsy that he was given to high elves, but eventually passed on to a monk monastery for his shenanigans. He falls asleep one night and accidentally lets a candle light the sacred garden on fire, but doesn't realize it was his fault upon waking up, so the monastery sends him out into the world, fully knowing it was him that lit the garden on fire, but they need a noble reason to send him on an adventure to find the perpetrator. So he questions everyone they meet on the road, thinking he's very good at investigating, but he is clearly not. It is meant to be a really silly, not center of attention, and something we could all laugh at when my character asks a Fire Ashari if they'd been to any sacred gardens recently. My character also had a fox companion that I didn't expect any benefits from. I just wanted something cute around me that could save itself during fights by just running away and coming back when danger was averted. His name was Egg Tart, and his whole thing was that he was a wild fox who followed me around because I had a bottomless bag of egg tarts I'd give him. I didn't want help, actions, or anything, just something cute and fun and aesthetic I could have fun with while we traversed a very intensively battle-centric story as a small wood elf monk traveling with a bunch of barbarians and paladins. In the first session, we walk into a graveyard, and without anything appearing, without us rolling initiative, the DM narrates my fox dying in the fog ahead of us, and I'm without my companion. It's 30 minutes later, I learned that my fox is resurrected, and my DM gives us a picture of a ghost-like undead fox. So I suppose I still had my companion, but I guess my DM wanted him to look cooler. I don't know, I feel like maybe it would have been nice to have been part of that planning, or had been given a heads up. That's the first group. Let's take a look at the second group. I ended up leaving the party because I just didn't love the story, and the story was actually genuinely so scary. It was like we were at war and everything was awful. There was not enough silliness, even that once didn't allow for silliness. It was just trauma. I joined another party that was at a local game store, so we were all strangers mostly. I think it was the third session when the DM introduced a sultry NPC and was really laying it on thick with the players. I was overly excited to be active in the story, so I did excitedly speak with this sultry NPC, but there was a moment that the NPC and I were sitting on the edge of the bed. I was clearly very nervous, and saying my character was stuttering and blushing and flustered and pulling their coat tighter around their chest, and all of these things. He starts to narrate us beginning to be intimate, and I panic and blurt out. I pull out my Lord of the Rings research binders and start explaining. So, you see, there are these huge eagles. We all giggle, and the DM still speeds up through a scene where we basically got steamy and it faded to black, and I woke up naked with the NPC in the bed, and I, the player, was sort of surprised. I decided not to go back to that group. Probably a wise decision. Am I the problem player? I can't seem to stick with a group without something weird happening. Am I thinking too much or being too offended? How do you all handle situations like this in order to keep enjoying this great game? Okay, so two very different scenarios here. First game, you have a group of people in a common situation, a common mindset, who have been probably playing together for a good bit. They're there to tell a specific kind of story. They're in a horror setting. That's the story they want to tell, with a lot of trauma and battle. And it sounds like it could be Curse of Strahd. The Fox Effect, Curse of Strahd, lays out some things that happen to familiars or pets like this, where they become undead or closer to undead. This could have been resolved with a session 0. Either this poster brings a different character to fit into that world where everything's gritty and harsh and danger is around every corner. that's obviously the game that they did not want to play. They wanted to play something silly and lighthearted that they could get a lot of laughs at, which is a great way to play. You just have to find that group, and there are a lot of groups like that out there. By all means, keep searching for that group. Maybe even put that group together yourself. Second one, much worse. Much worse. So, group of strangers that don't know each other. Doesn't sound like there's a session 0 here. That is a chance where everybody gets on the same page beforehand. So, sultry NPC. Line should have been said before introducing a character like that. What are the players' comfort level with dealing with situations like that? As soon as a player becomes uncomfortable with it, the DM needs to move on. To keep pressing, to keep pushing when there is obviously a level of discomfort that's a group to leave. That is another group to avoid. The DM should probably not DM. You cannot force situations like that onto player characters, onto players. There's a lot it could trigger. Please do not join groups like that. If you're a DM, do not force that upon your characters. If you are interested in that, at least have a discussion with them outside of the game beforehand, and really with the whole group, because it's more than just one person that is sitting there listening to that. Get away from those groups. That is an actual horror story. First one is just a Domain of Dread nitty-gritty campaign. Probably fun to play in. I hope this player finds their quirky, silly campaign where the stakes are low and the jokes and the puns are flowing. Best of luck. I hope that second DM does not ever do that to players again. Habits. DM habits. Respect. Right, that is our definite horror story. Let's call it a horror and a half story. Jetta Jaws and Eyes is going on an adventure. Falls to the ground dead. And we'll pick it up next week.
I just want to tell him as he goes down, I want to go to my knees with him and I'll say, we'll get the dragon.
I want to say the image of your wings, your angelic wings, stretching out in this narrow hallway, backlit by whatever light is coming through that door and shines through your wings, giving this light and shadow mixture, is genuinely